Hey Matt, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jenny.
So how was your 4th of July?
It was pretty good. Pretty standard fireworks, barbecue,
Yeah,
beer.
does
Yeah,
sound like a good time.
it was good. Yeah, yeah.
So tell me what's going on. What brings you here today?
Um, I guess I've just been. I've been. I got out of a relationship a couple months ago, a long multiple year relationship, and I've
Mm,
been going on my first dates
mm-hmm,
in the last month or so. Been feeling ready to do that, and
mm-hmm,
um, it's been pretty strange, or yeah, just I don't know, challenging. And I had just one particular. Well, I've only really been dating. I dated one person for like a couple weeks, kind of. We went on a few dates, and it went. It was just. It was so great. It went so awesome. And I think I got too excited.
mm,
She. It was just. It seemed. It just seemed so good. There was nothing. Um, it was just going smoothly, and then. Oops, sorry. And then after date number 4, I kind of talked to her about um, some, I don't know, just monogamy. I guess it's kind of just to be
mm-hmm.
more specific, but just like monogamy versus polyamory, and she was like not into monogamy. And this actually I has come up for me when I in dating in the past, and it's just like a kind of like thing I'm not about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of it's basically a deal breaker for me. And but I was like so into her, and
Mm-hmm.
it just but that really is like a deal breaker for me. Like I can't, I just personally, people do what they want to do, but for me, it doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something I want to be in. And anyway, I got kind of, I don't know, heartbroken. Is kind of, for such a short relationship, it's like it sounds silly almost, but I
Yeah.
was like kind of messed me up a little bit because I was like so into her, and then it didn't work. And so I guess I've just been, my mind has been dwelling on it like way too much because it's been a
Mm-hmm.
couple weeks, and it's like I kind of just need to let that go
Mm-hmm.
and move on. And it's so silly to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's irrational, really, that I just keep like little stupid things will trigger the memory of that, and it like throughout my day, and I'm like, why is that happening? Like little stupid things on the radio, and I'll be like, oh damn it, why? Or
Right.
like see some, yeah, it just, and it just kind of is not fun.
Mm-hmm. Um, and so when you hear a song on the radio, what are you feeling?
I guess loss or something, just like so close.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what I say to myself
Yeah,
or
well,
something. Yeah.
it's understandable you were really feeling the the relationship, and then after having was 4 good dates, and you were it's okay to feel a little sense of loss because you had that time and commitment with her, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I Yeah, and I feel kind of, I guess there's a part of me that feels like kind of silly and stupid
Mhm.
about it because I've I guess I've just been in long relationships that have felt much deeper, but for some reason this is like totally feels like parasitized my brain a little bit sometimes, and
Mhm.
I guess I just got so frustrated that I just can't let it go. And I wish I could, because I don't really, it's not that big of a deal. It's just, yeah.
Tell me more about your frustration. Who are you frustrated with?
That's a great question. I think I'm frustrated with her. I think I'm just like, I feel frustration towards her and just being like, why does it have to be that
Mhm.
specific thing that's causing this to not work? Because like that's just silly to me. Because I don't believe that I could function that way. So I guess I just don't. The frustration is I don't understand how someone could be that way, like
Mhm.
actually be that way. Um, and I guess I feel frustrated with myself too. Like I could have like convinced her to think otherwise and have different belief system.
Well, that might be a little irrational for you to think that you can change the way
Yeah,
she's thinking, right?
yeah, I agree.
But you are aware of your beliefs, right? And your beliefs are monogamy.
Yeah, and I can't really change that. I thought about it a lot. Trust me,
Mhm.
I thought about it a lot, but I was like, no,
So when you were thinking about possibly not believing in monogamy, what were you feeling?
gross.
Gross. It's a good
Yeah,
descriptive word.
like immediately, it's just like, ugh.
So
Like
what does that tell you then?
that I have a strong. I'm very strongly on one end of the spectrum, and she's not like on the other end of the spectrum, but she just wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't down with that. So,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, frustrated with that. I guess yeah, I feel old like and curmudgeonly or something like I feel like a I don't know like just old fashioned
Mhm.
or something. Feel like out of touch with like the new. I don't know. So that's frustration.
Mhm. And what do you think? Because it clearly sounds like you know what you want in a relationship. So, what do you think is holding you back from moving on from this lady?
Um, I think it's. I guess I'm like my job and my lifestyle are kind of isolating at the moment. Like it's definitely at this time. So it was like kind of that yeah, that didn't really take off. And then now I'm kind of like, I don't have a, like, I don't get to date. It's just kind of, a lot of alone time.
Mhm.
So it's unfortunate. It just set me up to be alone with the recent memory of like that totally flopping.
Mhm.
So I think that, and I let myself get really excited, but also it was the first like real anything since a big breakup. So I think
Mhm.
I had it kind of like stimulated something in me that was a little dormant.
Mhm.
So um, I think I'm also a little bit of an obsessive person too. Like when I get onto something, like I get super like ultra focused, which can be good, but also like, I mean, it's like so silly sometimes.
Mhm.
This is a perfect example.
Well, so do you think that because this was the first relationship after your big breakup that you are obsessing over this shorter relationship because it was your first one after the long one?
Yeah, that's at least one thing. Yeah.
So do you think if what do you think for the next relationship?
I don't know. I, I guess that's scary to think about. Kind of like one step at a time. I
What
mean,
scares you?
um, I guess putting myself out there again and then having a similar situation where it's like everything's good and like then one stupid thing. Um, and yeah, I guess it's just I think a lot of the like I guess a lot of the deeper seated things are like for me are like I think pretty classic, but just like oh, there's not gonna be a right person. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna be alone. Like I don't know. I guess. And so I think that a lot of those things are um, wrapped up in this story with this woman.
So you thinking that there's not going to be a right one out there.
I guess that at its core, I guess that's what it is.
Okay.
And so just, I don't know. Yeah, I guess right now I'm just kind of doing some, just spending some alone time and doing what I need to do for my work and school and all that kind of stuff. And not really focus on the relationship thing. I think almost like I feel a little bit like like I want to just like replace somebody. I don't
Mhm.
know. There's like the rebound effect. I don't know. There's probably a
Mhm.
word for it, but just like you kind of just are trying to fill a gap, and I'm wary of that too. Um,
Mhm.
but so that's, I guess, one of the things I fear for the next relationship is that it's going to be kind of needy like that. Um, yeah.
Well, I liked how you mentioned wanting to focus on you in school. That is great, and I'm an advocate for that. But talk more about how you think that you don't think there's anyone out there for you. Why do you think that?
Um, I don't know. I really have no idea why. There's no reason to think that. I guess it's just. I guess I feel you not I wouldn't use the word special, but I just feel unique and like kind of picky or something. And kind of like, oh, it's got to be. There's just in this perfect little like zone of whatever, and I feel like. Yeah, it makes me feel judgmental and like all those kind of things too about people because like yeah, I don't like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think
So you have
yeah,
no nothing specific really to go along with this belief or thought that there's not the right one out there for you.
no,
Maybe a few failed relationships, but nothing solid that can prove that there's not the right one out there for you, right?
yeah, and I guess I don't want to believe that there is a right. It's not, but I don't, but I think it is like yeah, it's even more than that. I think my belief is almost like there's not even anybody like that'll work at all. So I know that's really silly, but
It's
um,
silly. Why?
I don't know. I think I can be more open-minded than that. I think that's a pretty narrow way to look at things. But I
Okay.
can't help. I mean, I just kind of a thought that I have. It's not almost can't control it. So
Okay. But do you see how your thought process or your thinking is influencing how you're feeling about dating?
yes, yes,
Okay. Do you think you want to change on your thinking or maybe
yeah.
factor
I
that
do.
into your actions?
Yeah, I'd like to not think. So what's the word like? Just sort of like all or nothing kind of about it.
Mhm.
That's what I don't like that part of my thinking.
So, what do you think you can do to help with that part of your thinking you don't really like?
I don't know. I guess I do some self work, is the only thing I kind of try and do, take care of myself, like mind
Mhm.
and body. And that's, just trying to, I guess there's an acceptance to just like, yeah, I think that's okay. It's not the worst thing. And just not following, not getting wrapped up in it too much.
Getting wrapped up in what too much?
Just those negative thoughts, self doubt.
What are you self-doubting?
Well, just the relationship, like that. Doubting that there's a relationship
What's
for me.
out there? Okay. So I definitely think you just said it perfectly. Just to work on yourself and not self-doubting. Um, But what do you think this way of thinking with the self-doubt is doing to you?
I think it's making me feel kind of crappy sometimes. Just with this, yeah, with this short relationship that didn't work, kind of like triggered some more self doubt, or just more. Maybe trigger is not the right word, but just it bring it more to the surface.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing that I have. you know, it's more under the surface normally, and then it was like, oh yeah, I doubt myself a lot.
Can you tell me a little more specific about the last time you started self-doubting yourself?
I guess just with the short relationship that didn't work recently, just when it didn't work and she wouldn't change, or whatever. I guess that was like, oh, okay, well, if this didn't work with this person who was like had all these different things that felt so good and right,
Hmm.
then how could it? So I just doubt. I guess I doubt that I could find somebody or something like that.
Okay. But I think that because you're aware of this belief and this thought, which you realize is not true, um, though you still are working on the emotional consequence of this thought, um, do you think that you're ready to forget those thoughts and move on to knowing that there might be a better person out there?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to not think that, but I don't know. I don't know how. I guess I don't know how to snap my fingers and make it go away. I just have to pick away at it. I guess, kind of like just slowly let these things go.
Well, I hear what you said. You said you're ready, so that's half the battle,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
the
totally.
fact that you're ready tells me you're ready to try more relationships and just to get out there. But you also want to keep that mindset and keep who you are because you said that you're not going to change on certain things. So not to lose yourself in a relationship, I can understand is important to you.
Yeah, yeah. I have boundaries and things like that. That I, yeah, just have to be there.
Okay. What do you think might be the next step?
With this one, I guess trying again with someone else.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, at some point, and we'll see. Trying that, yeah, and then also just doing the self work that I need to do to just kind of let go of some of this stuff.
Okay. So I hear you. One plan of action is to continue working on yourself. Next plan of action is to to start dating or putting yourself out there, but keeping
Yep.
true to who you are.
Yep.
Now, how about when it comes to these thoughts in your head about self-worth? Or do you feel like you're ready to let them go and realize that they're irrational?
I'm so ready to let them go. but I guess I doubt that I will be able to let them go. I want to though, like, and I am committed to working with those feelings.
I,
And
lo- I love to hear that commitment. You're committed to it. So why don't we do this for next week? Just one time. I want you to either remember, write down a time that occurred this coming week where uh, a belief came into your mind that you know is not true, not irrational, having to do with a relationship, and how you kind of dealt with it or
okay,
didn't deal
yeah,
with it.
okay,
Does
yeah,
that make
one
sense?
time, yeah, that's clear. Yeah,
Just one time, even if it occurs more than once, but we can just discuss the one specific time. Sound good?
That sounds great. Yeah.
All right, you can do it. Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you.